Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Downtime in the Ring. This week, we have a man who has been in almost every promotion, a man you can see on Netflix. We have Orion this week.
I am eating my Welch's grapefruit snack gummies. They're delicious.
Best thing in the world. I've been a big fan of yours 4+ years now. Gotten messaged you, especially before the pandemic. Awesome to the fact that you communicate with your fans. You answer back to them, which I really do respect because there's a lot of people that don't. And I completely understand. You guys have lives too. You guys are busy, but you still put that time out. How long have you been in the business?
Oh Lord. Um, oof. So that goes back to when I was actually probably like 4 or 5, honestly. My uncle, because I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. So my uncle used to be security for WWF and WCW whenever they would come to the War Memorial in Syracuse. Um, and he got to know a lot of the boys and stuff like that too, because in Syracuse there's not a lot of late night places that are open for food and stuff like that. So actually, some of the boys would come to our house, and like my grandmother and my uncle would cook for them. And they just kind of hang out. I always went with my uncle, probably 9 times out of 10, to the shows and got to go in the backstage and meet all the wrestlers and everything like that. So we were a very big wrestling fan because I grew up with my grandmother, my uncle, my grandfather. Probably yeah. So since I was probably 5 years old, and then it just became a thing of when I got old enough, wanting to actually do it because I mean every Monday night, Thursday, Saturdays, whether it was WCW, ECW, WWF, no matter what it was, there was always wrestling on. And I believe I was 15 years old, and I went to Carousel Mall, which is now known as Destiny USA, and John Cena was doing a signing, and these guys were passing out flyers for pro wrestling, like come learn to be a pro wrestler, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, that's my chance. So 15 years old, yes, about a little bit over 16 years now. I have been officially part of the business, but yeah, since I was probably like 5 years old.
That's crazy, dude. I love hearing people's stories about how they've gotten into the business, but I've never ever heard the story of my uncle did security. I've been in since I was 5. The boys would come to the house to eat. That's probably the most unique. At least one of them. I'd have to say the other is like the past interview we had with Montezi, where he's just known Swerve for years. But that's insane, dude. I love that. How would you describe your career now?
Unbelievable. And the reason I say that is because if you look up the statistics for anybody that really comes out of Syracuse, I mean, we've had some pretty interesting characters that come out of there that have actually been successful. Richard Gere, Tom Cruise. There's been a lot of people that have success, but in terms of like where I come from and where I grew up, and on the north side of Syracuse, and it was one of those things of like you never really believe or think or really even fathom that you're going to actually do something with your career. And I mean, success is kind of one of those things where everybody thinks, there's only one way to be successful, and one way to, I guess, tally up that success. I've done probably more in my career than I ever thought I would. I never thought that I would work for WWE. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, am I signed? No, but I've done a lot of extra work and made a lot of good money off them. They've always taken care of me. Never thought that I'd wrestle overseas, and I've done 2 UK tours now. I've wrestled in Canada more times than I can count. I've done, I think, 30 states in the US. And I've wrestled with some of the greatest wrestlers in the world. I've trained with some of the greatest wrestlers. Like I never thought that I'd train with Ricky Morton. And I know somebody's gonna be listening to this like, oh, he's just name dropping everybody. It's not really name dropping. It's just dropping some information. I've gotten to train with off of the Wild Samoan, like saying my favorite wrestler in the world, like always ever since my he's Rocky Maivia is The Rock. So getting to train with his family and learn from his family where he learned from. It was just kind of like it's one of those things again. You just never think it's gonna happen. So like, and then to now, I'm training and I'm an assistant coach at the Dark Arts. with Malachi Black and Zelina. So it's just one of those things of like, I don't know. I just guess, I thought that maybe I'd just be another statistic of like, oh, you tried, you failed, you know what I'm saying? Um, and I have failed multiple times, but I just never gave up. And I'm still not giving up. But overall, like I've had a lot of fun. That's my biggest thing. I've had a lot of fun. I've made some good money so far. It's led to me being able to have a very good life, and to enjoy the things that I'd like to enjoy, and to have the things that I'd like to have, more so that I could say, I guess it just makes me happy, more so than any other, I guess shoot job that I've ever had. And I've had some pretty good jobs, but this is just kind of one of those, and I know everybody says it, do it, do what you love and everything like that. But this is one of the things that, I absolutely do love. So just, yeah, unbelievable, honestly.
That's so awesome to hear. So I'm going to be 100% honest. So following you and following, your career, keeping up every week and seeing what you guys post and being a big fan, what drew me the most, I'm going to be 100% honest, and you can see back there, what probably drew me the most to being your fan was the love for Kingdom. That's it. Not saying like everything that you have done didn't, because it has, you've wrestled the Acclaimed, you've been on NXT, you're killing it in OVW. I love that finisher that you and Will Austin have. But the Kingdom Hearts love was like, oh my God, there's a wrestler who loves Kingdom Hearts. Oh, that sold me. That did.
Listen, not to put everybody's business out there, but listen, most wrestlers are absolute nerds. I mean, Coach Zelina is probably one of the biggest nerds I've ever met in my life. Far beyond what I am. Like, I mean, she goes way deep into anime. But I mean, most wrestlers are nerds. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's also that thing of like, I do love Kingdom Hearts because again, it's a great story. And that's what we try to tell in wrestling is great stories. So it's one of those very few things that like, and I love Disney. Disney is my happy place. Disney is I when I need my big fix of serotonin. You know what I'm saying? Like I go there and it just automatically lifts my spirits. I remember it was probably, I think, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and I was just, I was run down. I'd been on the road so much. Uh, the Netflix thing, it just dropped. Yeah, probably a bit longer than 3 weeks ago. Netflix thing just dropped, and I was doing a lot of interviews, a lot of traveling for shows, and everything like that. Um, my body, my mind were just absolutely. I was home, and my body was just like done. And what I'm saying, it was like, hey, do you want to go to Disney? And I was like, oh man, I don't know. Like, I just kind of want to just sleep, but like I was just run down mentally. And then I was like, you know what, just screw it. Let's go. I'm like, just go, because I don't want to be the reason that nobody goes. And like we went to Epcot, and like one of my favorite places in Epcot is Japan, which is my next big goal is to go wrestle in Japan. Um, but I went in there and it just kind of gave me that shot of serotonin, and then it absolutely just poured, and I mean to the point it was like a typhoon in Florida, and it showed no signs of letting up anytime soon. So we bought some Disney ponchos and we were just walking through Epcot, absolutely this like to the point. I think the water was like at least like almost like up to my calves. That's how deep it was. So, and it was just a good time. It just my serotonin levels were super high. And then we got to the parking lot and it stopped raining. And I was like, "You're kidding me." Um, but yeah, I definitely think like my favorite things between Kingdom Hearts and I always try to add something from my personal life into my wrestling life because it makes it that much easier for me to grasp onto it. Because sometimes in wrestling, what I'm saying, we get to a point where we're trying so hard to be this other person that it's not, any true essence of us in there, that we kind of, just go through the motions. But I feel that once I started adding little elements of me and what I like, it made it so much easier. Plus the gear looks cool as hell.
Oh yeah, the Kingdom Hearts 2 gear sold me. And then you did it with I'll
Fenrir.
just yes.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh man, that is awesome."
That is probably one of my favorite, most prized possessions because I got that at a Tampa Bay Comic Con, and it was like it was the last day of Comic Con, and I anytime I go to a Comic Con, no matter what it is, like we did MegaCon this year, and I always go around like we did an interview with the news and everything. Had to be up there like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was cool because we got to go see all the exhibits and it was just really cool. But like, and I was always looking around trying to find keyblades and stuff like that because I think I have six, seven of them. But I found that one time at Comic Con, and the guy looked at me and like he was only doing cash that day, and I was so upset. I'm like, dude, no, please, please, like I have to have this. Dude, how much cash you got? I was like, I got like $50, and he wanted like 200 for it because it's not like plastic or anything. It's big, heavy metal. Like it's one of the heaviest thing like keyblades that I own. And he just is like, you know what, man? All right, go ahead. And I like, oh, I love that guy so much still. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things I've ever purchased.
Obviously, at one point you were doing, what were they, 450s with a Pikachu tied to your back as a backpack?
My
Like
Pikachu,
you,
uh, that thing, I honestly like that is my good luck charm. I've had that for I don't even know how long now, but he's always gone everywhere that I go, whether he makes an appearance or not. I will freak out. Like if we're in the car and like he's not in the car, if I forget him, I will literally, I don't care how far away I am, I will turn around, go back to the house and make sure he gets in the car. He's just my good luck charm. Um, and then in regards to, I'm sorry, what was the first thing you said? You said Pikachu
the
backpack.
masks with the Power Ranger style masks.
Oh, so listen to this. You're talking about the picture where it's like got different colored masks, right?
Yeah.
So my friend Speedy, he's the main photographer for AEW. He's the one that like, if you see like a card graphic, he's taking that picture. If you see like the figures that they sell at like Walmart or anything like that, the pictures on there, he took those pictures. Um, he takes some of the most just artistic, surreal pictures I've ever, and I've known him since I moved to Florida in 2010. Is when I met him, but he's just that was just one of the things. Like he was just like, "Hey, put the mask on. I want to do something." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, put on multiple masks." And like he just kept on taking pictures. And then like I think it was like a week later, he sends me this, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, that's so amazing!" Like I'm getting one blown up that way I can have it in my man cave. But like that's one of my favorite pictures of all time, and probably one of the best selling pictures I've ever had in my life either because I can't keep that one in stock. Like if I have it and I have it on my table, it's immediately purchased. Like just consistently, just bam, 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 bam. Um, but shout out to Speedy, always making me look good. Um,
So I have a question. So I bought one of the, God, I sound like a mark. I'm sorry. I bought one of the pops that you had made of yourself a few years ago. Why have we not gotten a second?
So here's the thing, and first of all, don't ever call yourself a mark. Like I hate that term. I mean, there's a correct way to use that term, and it's regards to like how much a fan actually knows about the business. It should never be used in a derogatory term, and you guys should never feel like March for buying our merch. Because here's the thing, you guys are supporting us. You know what I'm saying? We've done something that has made you enjoy what we do, and we put our bodies in the line. It's not Marcus at all to want to purchase something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I've got so much Pikachu stuff, man. I really do. Like fans have bought me so much Pikachu stuff. I got Deadpool stuff. I got Power Ranger stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I've got so many video games. It doesn't make me a mark. It just makes it something that has given me enough joy in my life that I feel that I should support it because it's what I'm saying, it does something that it makes me feel good, what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
never apologize for that. Um but so the way that I do a lot of my merchandise is yes, I could easily, mass produce these things. And again, I did a good number of them. I think I did two runs. I did a basic one, and then I did a run with my Power Ranger gear, my Lord Draken one. I did two, and I only did like 12 of each, 12 or 15. I can't remember the exact number. But the reason that I don't mass produce them like that is because at that point it doesn't become special. Um, and I always, my thing is like I'm a collector of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I always want to have something. Like, I have a lot of rare Funko Pops. You know what I'm saying? The reason that they're rare is because again they're not overly printed. So like when I did the Funko Pops, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do these so that fans know that when they do buy these, like you're getting something special. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like overproducing. Like 8x10s are one thing. Even now, every now and again I will throw out like a rare like only 50 of these are going to be printed, and then I won't print them. But like I'm very strict because again, like yes, everybody can have my merchandise in regards to like the special things that I do. But again, it doesn't make it, what I'm saying? You might still feel that it's special, but at the same time, I feel like limited makes it mean more because they were expensive, you know what I'm saying? They were quite expensive, you know what I'm saying? In regards to like, I had to get them made, you know what I'm saying? They 3D printed. I had to get the file, a special file for it to be actually 3D printed. So I did that, and then the painting of it and everything like that, and then shipping it was quite expensive, just because of like it had to get shipped a certain way, so that way it didn't break. And even then, I still had some issues with the carrier not handling it the way they should. But at the end of the day, it's just more about making it feel special. Now, I do have a new design that I'm playing with, that is going to come out in November. Is when I'm going to start because I put the design out, but the problem there was design flaws with the actual STL file, so I did not like I had to pull back from actually getting them made because of the STL file. But I do have a new design coming out. It's a Mega Man 3000 design of me. So that'll be coming out. That'll be going for pre-orders in November.
Oh, that's so cool. Your tattoo on your chest. I don't want to ask if it is in reference to KH. I don't believe so, but what is it?
It is not in reference to anything. I was honestly just a young dumb kid, and I was like, "Hey, a chest tattoo is gonna be awesome." It was not awesome. It sucked, and it looked like crap for a long time until I got it fixed. And it's still one of those things where it's there. I plan on getting it obviously fixed a little bit more, but that was just me being a young dumb. I think I was like 17 at the time, where I like just somebody's like, "Hey, I do tattoos." I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Just
Yeah,
me,
because I was like, it looks like the heartless symbol and the unversed. It looks like all of them combined, but I've never seen that before, so I was like, I wonder what that is. It's still cool though. I mean, it's iconic. Like if a fan were to see it anywhere, even if you have the mask on, we all know who it is. And I think that that's the coolest part is you have something unique more than gear on you. You have something that's recognizable, something that we can clearly see. Where did the design for the mask come from?
So the original design, when I first moved to Florida, one of these, I was doing these little indie shows in the back of Riverview Flea Market, and one of my friends had just started doing like trying to learn how to like sew gear and everything like that. And I was always like, I'm a big mass superhero guy. Like Deadpool's my favorite superhero, um, or anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. So originally, the design was kind of like that of on Andrade Alito's original mask. But then I was like, no, I don't want to have a mask that looks exactly like somebody else's mask. So then he made a couple adaptations of it and everything like that. And over the years it's changed, you know what I'm saying, probably 3 or 4 times, but not never in a way that didn't keep it to the same core level of what it was. I just added different things, you know what I'm saying, like the eyes became a little more narrowed. I saw a couple designs from like Spider-Man, the different Spider-Man masks and stuff like that, and I added kind of certain little nuances. I guess you could say
Yeah.
nuances. I added certain little nuances from the Spider-Man mask and everything like that. So it's changed over time, you know what I'm saying? And I have my specialty masks. Like I have my what I call my golden Frieza gear, um from Dragon Ball Z, which is like kind of a Ginyu Force, but it also has like a mask that's kind of more slanted towards like cooler. Um, so it just depends on what the gear is. Like I said, I've got probably uh, 5 different designs, but they all have the same core value. You know what I'm saying, of who, where the mask originally came.
I'm just gonna ask a lot of Disney questions at this point because I love the fact that you're so very open about being a Disney guy. I don't know if I can say that. I guess I'll say that for my generation. There's a lot of men in my generation who are like, yeah, I would never love Disney that much. And I'm like, but dude, it's Disney. Like,
Uh,
it's the childhood come to life. First off, you go to the park. Depending on which park you go to, because I assume that you go to are you a one park a day kind of guy or do you park hop every time you go?
Um, it's 50-50. I'm an annual pass holder, so it really depends on the day. Like sometimes I'll go and I'll just I'll stay I'll stay at you know uh Hollywood Studios for the day. You know what I'm saying, and or I'll do literally all 4 parks. Plus Disney Springs. It just all depends. It depends on the mood and it kind of the weather. Honestly, in Florida, because they can get it's you could love Disney, but what I'm saying, add that heat onto there, and you're kind of like, oh, this is disgusting.
And see, I've never been to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland and California Adventure. And all the
Oh,
times that I've gone, never had to worry about the rain. So I'm like, when I hear that about worrying about the weather, I still have to remember that Florida is underwater most of the year.
oh yeah, I love Disneyland too. Disneyland's one of my favorite parks. I can't like. I got to go. Oh God, when was it? Last year. Um, because a fan actually bought tickets for us. Um, while we were out there, because we were out there doing shows, and I love California. Wouldn't live there. Nice to visit. Wouldn't live there. Um, but yeah, a fan was just like, "Hey, are you guys in Cali?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, well, what do do you guys have any free time?" We're like, kinda, maybe. It depends, like because you never know. Like again, I try to, like I said, I'm one of those guys. Like I try to answer fans, but sometimes it gets a little weird.
Yeah.
So I gotta start off with like, yeah, maybe. And he was like, "Hey, well, I work for Disney, and so I can get you guys really, saying like, tickets and everything like that." And we're like, "Oh, uh, let me see how much an Uber would be from where we are, because I think we were like 45 minutes away or something like that." So it's like, if it's because California Uber prices are crazy, but it wasn't too bad. And then, "You want to go for Disney for the day?" I'm like, you know what? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd only been there, I think, like once before, but like they've updated so much. So like, and I think it was like November-ish, I want to say. So I got to do like the Haunted Mansion with the Nightmare Before Christmas theme and everything like
Ah,
that. Yeah, it was so much fun. And it was crazy how much it just, and I was so jealous because I'm like, why can't we have that in Florida? Just do it. um, but I mean, it just like it's different. I see why they keep it different, because obviously, if everything's the same, you have no reason to visit the other park. Um, but yeah, definitely, I could be a multi-park guy if I need to. It just depends. Just to kind of weather pending.
are you a concession food first kind of guy, or are you just jumping on your favorite ride first?
So I'm a walk around type of guy. I'm not, and that also depends, if what I'm saying, how hangry in the morning I am. If I've had my coffee and what I'm saying, like we get there and I'm like, damn, I gotta eat. Definitely grab something quick to eat. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm not a big rides guy anymore. Like I'll go on my favorite rides. You know what I'm saying? I'll still go on rides all the time, but I'm also like, I just want to walk around and kind of just enjoy, just kind of like being chill. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the person that has to be like, "Oh my god, I got to ride." You know what I'm saying? Like, no, not really. Like I could just literally go to Universal Studios, I could go to Animal Kingdom, I could go to Epcot, and I could just walk around without doing a single solitary ride. It wouldn't matter to me. Um, but I think Food and Wine Festival is one of my favorite things in the world. Um, oh, so amazing. Um, just all the different new foods they have out and everything like that. Just feed me.
Getting to this point, and you said like your career is more than anything has been the funnest part of your life. And, you being an annual pass holder, getting to go to Disney, getting to experience new things, getting to travel the world. What would your younger self say if they could see you now?
They'd probably look at me and call me a liar. To be honest with you, just knowing like how much like because again I was a punk kid, you know what I'm saying? Thought I knew everything, but like just looking up that it's one of those things of like when you go, you wish you could go back and just tell yourself like back then like, hey dude, like it might suck now because again, you know what I'm saying, like everybody has things that they've gone through, but like it may suck now, but it's gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I never fathomed in my life that I would absolutely like that I'd be on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? That like on a hit series. Um, I did work in the upcoming movie Queen of the Ring about Mildred Burke, and the NWA. That's going to be coming out along with Walter Goggins and Josh Lucas. Um, like again, it's just one of those things like you don't think, I'm saying, like I got to be in multiple cinematic matches with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, and I was a ninja for 6 months with Akira Tozawa, and I got to have matches with like the Big Show. I got to do a cinematic match with the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. I wrestled Damian Priest on NXT. I wrestled the Viking Raiders on NXT. Um, I'm sure I'm missing somebody in there. But yeah, I wrestled the Acclaim twice at AEW. I wrestled my boy Preston Vance on AEW as well. Um, and again, all the people that I've wrestled on the independents. Like next Thursday, I'm wrestling Alex Shelley up in Toronto at Demand Lucha. You know, um, so that's going to be an absolute banger. That's going to be available on IWTV Live. Um, but it's just one of those things. Like again, like if I was able to go back and just like, hey man, like, you're gonna do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, I'd probably look at myself and be like, yo, screw you, like you're a liar. Just because again, my younger self did not have the confidence, what I'm saying, or the mental capacity to believe that I was going to be anything other than another statistic of somebody that's just gonna, I guess, have a job and just be miserable. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's probably the message that I will, endow onto people is that if you have a dream about something, like, yes, I get it, this world runs on money, but you shouldn't put aside something that you love simply for money. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. You gotta live. At the same time, you also have to live with yourself as well. Um, Coach says it a lot. Like you're always gonna have regrets no matter what stage of your life, you know what I'm saying, that you get to, like especially when you get to the end of your life. But at the end of your life, you want to, you have your regrets, but at least you could turn around and be like, did I do everything that I could? You know, did I did I try hard enough? Did I take every single chance that I could to make what I want, that I want to become a reality? And if you can say that, then really, I mean, you didn't live a bad life, you know? Like there's nothing worse than living with regret. There really isn't.
See, I was about to ask you also, what advice do you have for people who are training? Because I currently am training with a company in New Mexico. What advice, or I mean, that could have gone into it. That was perfect right there, honestly. What advice do you have for people who are training who don't want to have that regret? Because that is why this podcast even started. Was I am always gonna live with that fear of at any day, since I haven't debuted yet, my coach could, and he would never. He's a great wrestler. You called him out, or you said that you wanted to wrestle him. It was a few weeks ago. Gino Rivera.
Oh,
Gino.
Gino.
Yes, that is my coach. If he were to ever pull the plug and say, "Hey, you you know, this isn't cut out for you, I still want to be a part of this business. And if I have to do the media side, that's the way that I won't regret, you know, not being in wrestling, is just doing this on the side while I train. But if you have anybody, like any words of advice to anybody who's starting, what would that be? What would you tell them as they're beginning their journey? Because
So,
there's a couple in my class that I know would love to hear advice.
so I'll tell you what I told our beginners class. There's our beginners class started last week. And I just went to Muay Thai at the Dark Arts this morning, and there was a couple guys from beginner class there. And they asked the exact same thing. They're like, "What do you know like what do you think this and this?" And I'm just like, "Listen, at the end of the day, it's wrestling is a the best way to put it. Wrestling's a bitch. It really is, because you're never going to get the amount that you put into it back out of it. You never will. You know what I'm saying? We put our bodies through, many car crashes every time we get in that ring. So you never get the time back from your body. You never get the time back from your family. You never get the time back for yourself. Um, but you get to do amazing things. But here's the thing is that if you're not putting in 100%, like, yeah, you could just show up to training. That's great. Are you eating right? Are you hitting the gym? You know what I'm saying? Are you working on what you learned at training? Are you working on promos? You know what I'm saying? Training doesn't just end the moment that you leave a building. You know what I'm saying? It's a consistent thing. It really is. And how often are you training? Are you trying to get in extra classes? Are there open ring days that you could be doing? You know what I'm saying? There's always so much more that you can, you can do. And people just don't do it. Either one because of, complacency, or two because they don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? It's always, I'd say it's about a fair 50-50. Um, but it's the same thing with active wrestlers. It's like, are you doing everything that you should be doing? Um, so if I had the best advice, that I could give right now is do what you're doing, but then do more on top of it, because there's no guarantees in wrestling, but there are chances, and you can always increase your chances.
I
That's
like
the
that.
the best advice I can give you guys.
I like that. I like that because there are no guarantees, but the betting on yourself is what I'm starting to learn, at least. It's the biggest thing.
Oh,
Um,
everybody in wrestling started off wanting to be a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Like I have some of the greatest friends that are referees and this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? But nobody ever started in this business and was like, yeah, I want to go be a referee, you know what I'm saying? Or like, yeah, I want to be a cameraman or a commentator. Like nobody ever started like that. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like a 0.2% did. But at the end of the day, like we all started this business because we love it, and there's no wrong way to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it so much on the independent scene where it's, oh well, you didn't make it as a wrestler, so you did this, blah blah blah. And it's just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like people down commentators, oh, they couldn't be a wrestler, so they went into commentator. Commentator made six figures. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know some referees that were making six figures. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's also a thing of like looking at yourself and just being like, you know what? I tried the wrestling thing, didn't work out. Okay, maybe I'll do the social media. There's good jobs in social media for wrestling, I promise you. You know what I'm saying? WWE is always looking, AEW is always looking, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no right or wrong way to be successful in wrestling. Like there's always a job, and every job matters. That's the biggest thing that I think people get away from, is they think that other people are minuscule in their job, or and they're really not. From the person, the people that set the ring up, set the lighting up, the people that take the pictures, to the people that, get the music ready, to the commentators, to the announcers, to the backstage correspondents, all the way up to just the wrestlers and beyond that. Everybody matters. And that's how you have successful companies, because all of that works together. And without one, it kind of falls apart.
are you a motivational speaker also?
I'm not. I should be though.
You should be. Where did the opportunity for dark arts come from?
Speedy actually sent me a message and was like, "Hey, I heard Malachi is going to start a school," and I was like, "Oh my god, thank God," because I love OVW, but OVW is 13 hours away from where I live. But they have like Al will open up the school anytime. Anyone wants to go in there, you're go ahead, go learn, go to class, go in there and bump, go use the ring, whatever you want to work. And I was always so jealous because all these guys live in Louisville and they have all this ring time and everything like that. And they just I felt like they weren't using it as much as they could. So like when that happened, I looked in Florida and there was like there's a few places to go, but that none that really didn't want you to sign up and pay like $6,000 to train. I was like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a beginner, you know what I'm saying? I'm not against going to training, you know, and learning. Like, I didn't want just to open ring. I wanted to learn, but I also didn't want to start in a beginner's class and just like, you know what I'm saying? So I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So then Speedy tells me all this, and I was like, oh man, I hope it's not far away. I hope it's not. I hope he lives in Orlando. I hope he lives close. And then he was really only like an hour away. So when it opened, and like I was super nervous even sending the message. I'm just like, oh my god, oh, should I? Do I do it? Do I do it? And then I was talking to Ellie about it, and like we're like, okay, we're gonna go do it. So then like they gave us the pricing at first, and it was like, holy, that's it. Like, holy crap! Wow, like I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, that's it. So we started going, and it's it's different because Malachi doesn't train pro wrestlers. He trains athletes. You know what I'm saying? He teaches violence. You know what I'm saying? That's who Malachi is. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's been as successful as he has been because he's a very violent person. You know what I'm saying? He draws you in. You know what I'm saying? He has an idea about himself and about wrestling that you can't just look away from. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? From the time that he was Alistair, before that he was Tommy End, to now being Malachi Black, like there's not one person that's gonna be like, yeah, that's boring. Nope, because you always like anytime you watch him, it's like you gotta watch to see what happens.
Yeah.
From promos to in-ring work to everything in between. So like the first couple of weeks, it was just it was I was like, wow. I was like, I thought I was in shape, and apparently I am not. Because on top of that, we do strength and conditioning. Um, so he has a full gym set up there. You know what I'm saying? Full gym. It's better than anything Planet Fitness could ever have. Better than Crunch. You know what I'm saying? He's got all these attachments for everything. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? We do promo classes. We've done matches and gear and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we've done all these things, and it's just preparing you to be able to be a better athlete and to be a better, professional wrestler as well. Um, but and then the beginners class come in, and the moment he even asked me, you know what I'm saying, I was like, oh, uh uh like I've done seminars in the past and stuff like that, and I've helped at other schools and stuff like that, but never being like the actual assistant coach or anything like that. So I was like, wow. um it was like an honor, like this dude that, I'm saying, like is you know what I'm saying, like giving me a chance to help, I'm saying, in the future. And that's kind of like what my biggest thing is. Like I told him, I was like, my plan for after wrestling was always to teach people, I'm saying, about wrestling, how to wrestle, and like how to be successful and stuff like that. It was always my thing. And like he's like, well, you don't have to wait till after. You could start now, I'm saying, like if you want to. And I'm like, absolutely. I'm saying? So like, and it felt really good on Wednesday of last week, our first beginners class, to see these people that have never been in a wrestling ring, have no idea about the business or anything like that, just, you know, start to pick up, everybody learns at a different pace, but start to pick up things, you know, and it's like, man, that was really good. You know what I'm saying? Because they're happy about it. And then I saw some of the students today, and they're like, man, it's just such a different world. I'm like, yep, and we're only getting started.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love that so much. It's at least I can say from, from a beginner. Um yeah, it's shocking, but it's also a feeling of not wanting to leave, not wanting to end practice cuz it feels like home. It feels like a second home, which is weird to say, but That's how I feel about it. Feels like a little second home, even though, bumping hurts, chops hurt, everything hurts. But if it didn't hurt, then would it be worth it?
Exactly.
So, as we start to wind down, I'm gonna just talk to you a little bit about OVW, and as much as you can. I know that you probably can't talk a lot about it, or if you can, cool. Just being on wrestlers, like how was that?
That was it was nerve wracking, man. Like, to be honest with you, like it was absolutely nerve wracking to have all these cameras being around all the time. And the direction of the whole thing was kind of like, hey, we don't want you to act. We want you to just be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't pander to the cameras. Don't pander to us. Don't be fake. Just be you. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? So it was, like I said, they were there for almost, like, I think 4 or 5 months, and they were everywhere all the time. And I love those guys. They were all so amazing. Um, Greg, the producer, was just absolutely just fantastic. The photography guys were just amazing. Producers and everything like that. It was an amazing experience, but it was also, like I said, very nerve wracking. She's like, oh crap, if I say this, oh crap, if I say that. But then at the same time, it just got to a point where we all got so comfortable. Where it's like, screw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, but yeah, it was a different experience. And then, from there we got work with Queen of the Ring. Like I said, that film is my first time doing like a movie. Like, I'd done cinematic stuff where they kind of, shoot reset, but this was like literally, I think, like 12 hours a day, overtime after 8 hours, but it was kind of like hurry up, get dressed, and wait. Um, so I prepared us a little bit for that, being, what I'm saying, kind of just like waiting for things to be able to be ready to do and everything. Um, but yeah, overall great experience, and I think it's shed so much light on OVW because, again, OVW back in the day was the place to be. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's now becoming that place again. Um, we've had 4 weeks straight sold out crowds on Thursday nights. Our pay per view was sold out before, what I'm saying, I think almost like 6 weeks in advance before a single match was announced. You know what I'm saying? Our YouTube numbers and our Fight TV numbers are doing, I think, like triple or more than they were doing before. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of giving people, you know what I'm saying, it's giving OVW the boost that it deserves, and giving the spotlight back to, professional wrestling in Louisville, where it should have been all along. But I think somewhere along the line, it just got kind of lost. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's like I said, I'm hoping for a season two. Um, Hopefully something that on that comes out soon. Um, but even if it doesn't, we've got so much fun stuff coming up from OVW, um, that, what I'm saying, you guys will see come out on social media, stuff like that. I firmly believe, just because of the outcry and the so much positive, I've seen a couple negative things from people, but not too much. Everybody has their, opinions, stuff like that. But for the most part, it's been like 99.9%, all positive stuff, and everybody wants to see a season two, which, again, I think we could definitely do. Um, so I guess we'll just see. But overall, just an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? Again, like, you watch your shows on Netflix and you never really think about what they, especially like the docu-series, and you never really think about how they film these things. And then when you're part of it, you're like, oh, this is different. Hold on a second.
Oh, I could only imagine what that would feel like. And um, I'm guilty of it. I really didn't, not say think a lot of OVW, because that comes off and sounds like, I didn't really care, but it wasn't in the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking of independent promotions and who's out there. And then this show comes on, I binged the entire thing because I'm glued the entire time. Haley J, Shira, Mr. Spectacular, yourself, and Ellie, who had made cameos in there. The fact that you all were shirtless in Nashville, uh, trying to get people to come to OVW show. Cash flow, probably. probably my favorite out of that entire series. I got to be honest. He just
I
seems like a
gosh,
genuine guy.
he really is. He's again, and I think everybody in that show kind of showed their true, genuine selves. There's a clip in there. Actually, speaking of the Nashville thing, there's a clip in there that like my inbox got blown up from, um, and I got so many questions on like podcasts that I did about it and everything like that. And it was the clip of like we're handing out the flyers downtown for the show that we're doing. Literally, probably like I think like 1,000 feet away from there doing SummerSlam,
Yeah.
and there's a homeless guy and he's digging the trash, and like I walk up and I hand him $20 or something like that, and I just walk away. And a lot of people were asking me, they're like, was that, did I tell you to do that? I was like, to be honest with you, I said, with the amount of cameras that were following us around, I was like, they had like little GoPro cameras, they had giant cameras, they had one that was like looked like it was attached to the dude's back. It was crazy. I was like, I had no idea anybody even caught that. You know what I'm saying? But like my biggest thing is like I wish more people did that. You know what I'm saying? Like I see so many people put GoFundMe's up and everything like that for, personal things that happen to them, what I'm saying, whether it be, illness or their car got broken into or, something like that. And they're just online, they're posting these things. I'm never against that. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's the way that is gonna help you, then do it. But please don't ever treat homeless people like they're below you, or what I'm saying, that they're in any way, shape, or form bothering you. You know what I'm saying? Because mostly people don't eat for days and weeks upon a time. If you could throw them $5, listen, they can easily, what I'm saying, make that money last. And I get it. Everybody thinks, oh, they're all druggies. No, it's not the case. A lot of the time, they're just down on their luck. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's been down on their luck. You know what I'm saying? Be a human being, help another human being, and just kind of just spread the wealth a little bit. I'm not saying you got to drop hundreds of dollars, but man, like every time I'm driving, I go somewhere. If I see somebody on the street, if I got like some change or a couple extra ones or whatever I have, I'll try to help out a little bit. You know, I'm not saying you got to give your entire paycheck, but humans are still humans. We need more of that.
Yeah, that's I love that mindset. So that's the mindset that I was raised on from my mom. She's would always say you never know if you're entertaining an angel. Kind of hit me a little bit more after we got the opportunity to interview Montezi, and me and him talking back and forth even after weeks after the episode came out. And it just, I'm lucky enough to have that opportunity. I'm lucky enough to be able to interview people like yourself in this industry that I have loved for going on 2 decades now. So if I see somebody who, needs a pickup, is struggling a little bit, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt me to help. It shouldn't hurt anybody to help them. Overall, if you're happy where you are and you're, living your life, it doesn't hurt to help other people out because you never know what's going to happen to you. And if good karma comes your way, awesome. If it doesn't and you're still the same, then hey, you're still the same at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
100%.
So after getting a little sappy, but man, I can't thank you enough for us finally being able to get this interview done. This has
No,
been
I
oh
appreciate it. Like I said, I'm sorry. So many, so many, so many things happened trying to get this thing done. It was great, crazy. I swear to God, I've never had so many things just kind of all hit at once between travel, and then my phone, and then the power outages and everything like that. Uh, it was just
it's all good because what could have happened was the second time I could have just said, no, you know what? Forget it. This guy just doesn't want to do it. But instead, I don't want to burn that bridge, honestly, because if one day I do go to Disney World and you're there, I would love to take a picture with you. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't have to post it anywhere, but it's kind of just a fan thing. Um, and two, especially with what happened and the way that we were informed that the podcast I wouldn't want to burn a bridge with anybody. You guys don't deserve that. Life happens. And the best we could do is just, have to record a few weeks later. Doesn't hurt anybody at all.
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate you being patient.
Oh, yeah. Always, always. So, where can everybody get a hold of you? Where can fans look up all your stuff? Let us know the socials.
I am everywhere. So the most common handle for Twitter, Instagram, and for TikTok is the Orion X. On those platforms. It's also the Salt in the Sky Orion on Facebook. I am on Threads, but I guess Threads didn't take off the way that everybody thought it was gonna take off. But yeah, you can find me on all those things. YouTube page. You could look up either Blanco Loco, which is my old ring name, or Orion. I try to update it with new matches every few weeks. It's been a while. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and actually upload or anything like that. 'Cause it's super busy on the road. But I got, you can see me every Thursday night live on Fight TV for free, mind you, at OVW. It doesn't cost anything. We do have the pay-per-view this upcoming one week away from today, which is oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. No Rest for the Wicked. It will be on Fight TV. We are sold out for that. There are no more tickets available for the show. And I believe for this Thursday and next Thursday, we're about 2/3 of the way sold out for Thursday nights for OVW. So get your tickets now if you can, if you're in the Louisville area. I'll be at Demand Lucha in Toronto. I'll be at Mucha Lucha in Atlanta on the 22nd. We got a bunch of fun things coming up. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to try to make a trip down to Louisville. I'm gonna have to do that because I want to go to OVW. I want to see you guys. I want to see Cheryl. I want to see all of them. So I'm gonna have to try to do that.
Come on down, man. I was gonna say we have a few guys that are actually down from OVW. Isaiah's down there in New Mexico right now. I'm not sure where in New Mexico, but they're in New Mexico. I'm not sure if there's like a Burning Man going on or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, the balloon fiesta? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode. Much appreciated. Remember, be kind to everybody, and also like, comment, subscribe. We will see you in the next episode.